Well, welcome back to another episode of 1025. What day is it? You ever found yourself asking that question? I mean, it seems right now in the midst of the state shutdown, the orders to stay at home, that one day blurs into the next. And there are many times where we have that conversation in our home. What day is it? Because we don't have anything to go to. We don't have activities filling our calendar. It's just one day after another, and each tends to look very similar. Someone commented to me that it's almost like Groundhog's Day. Have you ever seen the movie with Bill Murray? He wakes up and he returns to the same day, day after day after day. So what day is it? You know, here we are sitting in the middle of Holy Week, that high point in our Christian church year. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about the significance of what happens each day. And hopefully this helps you as you ask that question throughout this week to be able to understand what happens each day. So let's move back. Holy Week begins on Sunday, Palm Sunday, with a palm parade. Jesus rides into Jerusalem gently on a donkey, and he's hailed as king. Monday, then, we see the not so gentle Jesus who goes into the temple courts and clears them and calls it out as a den of robbers and invites it to return to a place of prayer. Tuesday, then, Jesus teaches in the temple courts. And he has some critical words for the religious leaders. He also spends a significant amount of time talking about the end of time. Wednesday, then, the plot thickens. Things begin to happen behind the scenes. We don't hear or see Jesus. In all likelihood, he's spending that day out in Bethany with Mary and Martha and Lazarus. But we see that the chief priests are now plotting to kill Jesus, and they're bringing Judas into the picture, who agrees to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Thursday, we traditionally refer to as Maundy Thursday. Not Monday, Thursday, but Maundy. Maundy is the Latin word for mandate. And there's two mandates that Jesus gives as he gathers together with his disciples for the Passover meal. The first mandate comes after he washes their feet. And he says, as I have loved you, so now you must love one another. The second mandate comes in the midst of a meal where he flips the meal. It's no longer just a Passover meal. It's now what we call the Lord's Supper. And so he takes bread and he takes wine and he says, now do this in remembrance of me. Remember my body that was broken, my blood that was shed on the cross for your forgiveness. Friday, now things begin to culminate. It's late Thursday night. Jesus is arrested. An illegal trial is held overnight. Friday morning, he's then convicted and sentenced to be crucified. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., he hangs on the cross in agony. And at the end of it all, he cries out, it is finished. And he hangs his head and he dies. Saturday is referred to as Holy Saturday. Just like after God created the world in 6 days and on the seventh day he rested from his work. So Jesus, after he completed his work of saving us, after he cried out those words on the cross, it is finished, he hung his head and died. And he rested in the grave. So if any of you like the opportunity to sleep in, this Saturday is your day. Sleep in. And remember, it's Holy Saturday. Jesus was buried in the grave. Only early in the morning on Easter Sunday to come back to life, to appear to the women and to his disciples. He is not dead, he is alive, just as he said. So as we go through this week, it's an invitation, I believe, to do two things. First of all, it's an invitation to remember. To remember what happened, what transpired in the course of each of those days, and how it all pointed toward the salvation that Jesus would bring for us as he defeated sin, death, and the power of Satan on our behalf. So one, we remember, and then two, we rejoice. You know, one of the Bible verses that comes to mind regularly for me is from Psalm 118. It says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Yes, one day might bleed into the next. It might seem like it's the same. But there's so much happening this week, and each and every day is a day to remember and a day to rejoice. So in the comment section below today, I'd invite you just to share with us, what is something that you're remembering today? And what is something that you are rejoicing in today? Do that. Be encouraged. And we'll see each other again tomorrow.